All right, hey there, I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith, and we are tracking the potential of some wintry weather tonight and tomorrow. It's looking to be pretty low as far as the actual impact of the event. We're under a winter weather advisory, which is not nearly as significant as a winter storm warning. The last time we had a significant ice event in our area was the 2014 ice storm, where we had an accumulation of about 1.5 inches of sleet. This is a totally different kind of a setup. This is where we may get an accumulation of about 1/10 of an inch of ice. Now, ice is very tricky to drive in, but we're talking about mainly bridges and overpasses. It was so warm today, the roads are likely not to be cold enough to support a glaze of ice, except in the extreme inland areas. And in Mobile and in South Baldwin County and in Pensacola, I just don't expect much to be going on. But further to the north, northern Mobile County, northern Baldwin County, we do have that potential of a light freezing event. So let's take a look at some of the maps here. And the first thing I want to talk about is what is freezing rain. Freezing rain is when the rain particle comes down as rain, and then when it hits the ground, it freezes on contact. It's a little different than sleet. Sleet is actually a rain pellet that freezes midair, and then, when it hits, it's more like hail, or it bounces when it hits. It's an ice particle. And so this is most likely going to be freezing rain just because the middle layers of the atmosphere are so warm. So slick roads are possible tomorrow morning. Then it's not going to warm up much during the day, but it will get above freezing. So if we see any frozen precipitation, it'll be gone after the first couple of hours in the morning. And then into the evening tomorrow, it starts to get really cold, and we'll have the potential of a hard freeze, something we haven't seen a whole lot of. And the temperatures are going to struggle tomorrow. I mean, we're looking at wind chill values mainly in the teens and 20s tomorrow. Might get lucky enough to get the wind chill up to around 30 by mid-afternoon, but then back down into the teens and single digits with the wind chill tomorrow night. So as we look at it here, these are the hard freeze conditions, and we are looking at a hard freeze warning with temperatures in the teens expected across the Gulf Coast as we head into the early morning hours on your Wednesday. That's going to be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and it's actually cold enough this time that we are concerned about needing to protect the pipes. You can still do the preparations tonight, but you don't have to drip the faucets tonight. That's going to be tomorrow night. And so what do you do when we have a hard freeze? Well, you can disconnect your hoses from the house so that you don't have hoses that explode, right? And any sprinkler systems need to be cut off. You can drip the interior faucets, especially those around an exterior wall or those that are pretty far away from your actual meter. And then, of course, the pets need to come inside. Anything that you're worried about plants-wise, they need to be indoors or covered. The last couple of freezes have been light. It wouldn't affect some of the native plant varieties, but this one's a little bit more significant. You can protect fruit trees, that kind of thing. And of course, full-on hats, gloves, and heavy gear for tomorrow. You're going to need that, and be careful with those space heaters. They can be dangerous and may not use them normally, so you want to keep them away from curtains, and be sure not to knock them over or that kind of thing. So to prevent pipes from freezing cold weather, you got to run the water from the faucet, especially that faucet that's furthest away from the meter, at a trickle. It's going to be a steady stream, not just a drop. And you want to do that tomorrow night, and that'll be as long as the temperatures are below freezing until mid-morning on Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at what we're going to see with the forecast here, and I'm going to scoot down, and we'll start out with our 10-hour planner here so you can get an idea of just how cold it's going to be tonight. And it was up into the low 60s today, still pretty mild outside right now in Mobile, but we do expect to drop down to around 50 degrees for the 8 o'clock hour, and then into the 40s as we get into the 10 o'clock hour. We'll start seeing 30s after midnight, and this is where we may see a little bit of light freezing rain. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., by 7 a.m., most of it's going to be getting out of here. And the low temperatures down into the upper 20s, Mobile, Bay Minette, 29 in Fairhope, 33 in Pensacola. So you can see the Panhandle, not expecting any freezing rain issues. Might have a brief period where a little bit of the rain freezes to something like an elevated object, like a grill or a fence row or something like that, but we don't expect anything on the roads across the Panhandle, certainly. So keeping track of where the rough weather is right now. We have light rain and freezing rain, maybe mixing with a little snow on the back edge up here in central Mississippi. We saw up to about 7 inches of snow in northwest Alabama. The back edge of the precip is likely going to transition mostly to freezing rain and sleet because of the warm nose that is aloft in the upper layers of the atmosphere and as it gets closer to us. But right now, just a little light rain that worked through, seeing a few showers back over our Mississippi counties too. And we'll continue to see light rain tonight, progressively colder with that. And so looking at the precip forecast, it looks like everything in green, just cold rain. Mobile, we're going to be right on the edge. We might have a brief period of some light freezing rain or freezing drizzle. The significant accumulations of ice, if we do see it, would be in Washington and Clark counties. We don't expect any power outages, so we should be good there because the totals are expected to be so very light. I mean, as you look at this here, a little less than 1/10 of an inch in Grove Hill, that's hardly anything. Now, a little bit of a glaze of ice can cause big problems, but 1/10 of an inch of ice is not a lot. 4 100ths in Chatham, and you can see everything to the south looks like real limited on any accumulation of freezing rain. So our futurecast is showing us the timeline on the onset of the wintry precipitation. And keep in mind, we've got a large forecast area, so if you're south of I-10, this doesn't really pertain to you. But to the north, at about 1 or 2 in the morning, we may start to see some light freezing rain. Leakesville, Chatham, Jackson, Grove Hill, and Thomasville. And then into the morning around 5 a.m., you can see Mobile's right on the edge. Could have some freezing rain in Citronelle, Chunchula, Bay Minette, Stockton. Just a little brief opportunity there. And then as we get into 6:30 in the morning, it's showing mainly light freezing rain, perhaps even in Mobile and in central Baldwin County. And then it's gone. It gets out of here. Look how quickly we clear on off. By lunchtime, we may even see some sunshine breaking out. Temperatures will get up into the 40-degree range, or if not the upper 30s. We'll have a lot of wind. But that cold, dry air and that temperature getting above freezing, it looks like it'll evaporate any moisture. So no refreezing on Tuesday night. And then looking at the forecast, we go down to around 19. So we've got our Storm Tracker alert day up for light freezing rain. And then we see, as we get into the night, freezing temperatures for tomorrow night. It'll be the coldest night of the year. And we could see some teens with wind chill values in the single digits for early Wednesday morning. We break out of it, and it looks like one more light freeze Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday look okay, maybe a few spotty showers. And then long range, it looks like another freezing event for the weekend with a morning low on Saturday at 22 and Sunday at 24. So this could be a second round of hard freeze conditions as we head into the weekend. That gives you a good idea of what we're expecting. If you're in Mobile, we probably won't see any significant travel problems. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it. If there are any changes, we'll let you know. We'll be monitoring road conditions on Fox 10 News tomorrow morning. If you're just into northern Mobile County, northern Baldwin County, though, you got to watch out for those bridges and overpasses tomorrow morning. And it looks like there'll be a couple of hours in the morning, anywhere from about 4 a.m. to about 7, 8 a.m. We're going to have to watch out for the possibility of some slick roads, and then things will improve. I'll have an update on Fox 10 News later tonight.